This is the Rebel Call channel. Welcome to today's show. I have to cover a video that is trending yet again on YouTube that is filled with the same satanic signs and symbols and messaging that we see on a day in, day out basis. These people only trend, and these people are only famous because, of course, they worship Lucifer, and they openly show you this through the signs and symbols in their music video. And this is from Megan Thee Stallion called BOA. It is trending on YouTube, number 10 right now worldwide, which means that it's getting fed to young children and young children's minds. And ultimately what we're seeing now is like the normalization of MK Ultra mind control programming being implemented on people in the trending section. That's pretty much what I look at the YouTube trending section as. Everything in there, nothing is organically trending. It's forced trending. They're forcing this onto children because they know children go in, they go, hey, what's going on today? Just the way people used to pick up a newspaper to see what was going on in the world, even though that was all manufactured and mainly make-believe. Children go out there, teenagers go out there, they go onto YouTube and they click on trending, and trending gets recommended to them. So this is the vile filth I'm about to show you that's getting recommended to teenagers out there. And of course, it's not just teens. We know that there's 20-year-old, 30-year-old, 40-year-olds who still indulge in this and watch this type of stuff because they worship these fallen idols without actually admitting that they worship them. So for those of you that don't know, what is Megan Thee Stallion? Well, this is Megan Thee Stallion. You can see Megan Thee Stallion dressed up as her master, Lucifer. You know, it's just a common theme here. They all seem to love the devil and then pretend like it's just cosplay. And everybody out there seems to just not get it, right? We see all seeing eye symbolism with Megan Thee Stallion. They all love to just close one eye and point at their eye all the time, right? I even seen a post from Megan Thee Stallion's social media account, Demon Time. You know, nothing suspicious here, just Demon Time, as, you know, this demon is manifesting one into its vessel, its body. So this is what the children continually see. So the video starts off, and this is what's important to note. It literally, the video starts off, kids are gaming, so we can see where, you know, who they're marketing this towards, right? This is pretty much the normal day-to-day of children these days, is getting up, they play video games, they communicate online. Nobody knows how to do anything on their own anymore. They think that they know more than they do. They know nothing. So they're talking to each other on, you know, what has now become normal, almost like a Zoom call, the new norm, thanks to the outbreak, which they did by design. And they say they're about to play a game called The Curse of the Serpent Woman. Another common theme, the obsession with snakes and serpents, of course, which I'll get into later in the video. But the Curse of the Serpent Woman, almost probably, likely, of course, referencing Lucifer. And on the screen it says, the way you die in the game is how you die in real life. This is how it starts. And the video ends, of course, with the serpent crawling on the floor and then suffocating as it wraps itself around a woman. It suffocates the woman to death, which is pretty much what is happening in the world right now. Satan and his minions are suffocating society around us, and you can see even on the background, in the background, with the serpent coiled around this woman, you can even see a satanic pentagram in a poster on the left side of the wall. So, of course, the video starts off with, we have rabbit ears, just another sign of MK Ultra programming, because that's what this is, right? This is the Alice in Wonderland programming, the bunny ears. This is why you see Rihanna with the bunny ears over the years. We see Macaulay Culkin. Nobody out there gets suspicious about it. They're just like, oh, look at all these celebrities. They love to wear rabbit ears. Is it Easter? No, it's the middle of August. Oh, okay. Or it's, you know, it's May 10th, 2020. Oh, I guess you didn't get the memo that Easter was about 4 weeks ago. No, they just don't think at all. Okay, these are all signs and symbols we saw, again, in the past. Rihanna's video where she's even wearing the rabbit ears. And on the wall, you could even see the words like Illuminati plastered on the walls. So again, this is CIA programming, Alice in Wonderland programming. So it's no surprise that Megan Thee Stallion, who is a product of MK Ultra, has the rabbit ears on her head, and then of course has the upside down pentagrams on those ears as well. Yeah, most people just are so dumbed down that they think that all these people just love stars. Nobody ever goes, why are they putting stars on everything? Literally everything has a star. Are they all Dallas Cowboy? No. These are pentagrams, 5-pointed stars, okay? That's why it's on the American flag. Welcome to Babylon. You can see the 5-pointed star right on the ears, upside down, the Baphomet star. Then we pull away, and I apologize for some of the imagery. And, you know, I mean, in this culture, most people see this stuff all the time. This is trending on YouTube, but I don't want anyone to throw up on their whatever device they're watching this on. But we see these ghouls that are dancing around Megan Thee Stallion. It's very important to know what's on their shirts. Because here on the left, let's start there, we have two people who are dancing who happen to have Saturn on their shirts. And nobody would see this and ever think anything of it because nobody's paying attention. They go into a hypnotic state. People don't understand that your mind, okay, when you're doing something, right, when you're focusing on a project, right, your brain is potentially using beta waves, focusing on projects. You could switch into alpha. You could switch into different frequencies, right? Relaxation, right? It's how we go to sleep. You're not going to go to sleep while you're working on a project and your mind is racing and running and you're in a conscious state of mind, conscious, making decisions and thinking. Versus when we watch the television, we're literally putting ourselves in a hypnotic state. So nobody notices this stuff. So when you do watch it and you're paying attention, if you go, I'm going to watch this video just to pay attention, like I do with videos specifically like this, then you see the signs and symbols, but everybody else out there doesn't see these things. So when I point them out, it helps wake them up. But again, we have the majority of people that refuse to believe that because they're so dumbed down that they think that people are just randomly picking out a shirt that has Saturn on it over and over and over again, just like the stuff I talk about with the eyeballs, etc. So we see Saturn worship, and we'll see more with cube worship, Saturn's cube later on in the video. But you can see Saturn right on the shirt, right? We've seen, again, Beyonce always referencing Saturn, the earrings with Saturn, right? Lady Barfbag goes on a talk show, goes on Ellen, another Satanist show I've exposed in the past, wearing Saturn around Lady Barfbag's head. We've seen Adele even getting the tattoo of Saturn on her arm on her 33rd birthday. Don't be suspicious of that, right? So Saturn worship, this is satanic worship. This is why they're obsessed with the supposed planet Saturn, right? And if we look at the other side of the dancers, of course, we see the heart symbol, another symbol they get away with right out in the open, right? We see the heart over and over and over again all the time. And nobody says anything about it. No one's like, wait a minute, did you know the human heart doesn't actually look like that? And they're like, well, it's just a metaphor for what a heart is, right? The heart is a symbol of Nimrod, okay, among the ancient Babylonians. The heart itself, okay, the word for heart in the Babylonian language was Baal, okay? The heart is a symbol of Baal. Baal, remember Baal? Known specifically in the Bible. Everyone remember Baal? I know they don't teach about him at the 501c3 churches, but when we talk about child sacrifice, etc., they were sacrificing their children to Baal. That is what the heart symbol represents, which is why we see even Megan Thee Stallion doing pictures, because you'll find every celebrity out there with some type of heart symbol. What do you think? They all just love everybody, right? She's got her hair up in a heart symbol. We've seen every concert, these people make sure they go out of their way to hold up the heart symbol. They're deceiving people with this symbol. People think that this symbol means love everyone, accept everyone. This is a Luciferian symbol, and again, they're normalizing it. That's why a lot of the sayings that go with this are sayings that go with the LGBT and love wins, etc. Okay, we see we see Katy Perry doing the heart symbol, Taylor Swift, Beyonce. We've seen everybody out there. You can find a picture of them doing that, right? Okay, again, the symbol means Baal. In Babylonian language, Baal was the word for heart. So as we continue along, of course, we're inside of the child, or the teenager, who's playing the video game, right? We're inside the home, and suddenly, as this demon manifests in its home, what's on the floor? Oh, it's black and white checkerboard floors. They must have just randomly picked this place and shot it there. They didn't strategically, put this flooring in, did they? Because, well, of course they did, right? Of course they did, because they always leave their calling card, the black and white Masonic checkerboard floor. Which again, the duality, as above, so below. Every single Freemasonic lodge in the world has the black and white Masonic checkerboard floor, which is why celebrities are obsessed with it, because they're all rooted in Freemasonry and secret societies that ultimately teach that Lucifer is God, and that is who they worship, which is why Megan Thee Stallion is obsessed with serpents and is referencing the serpent, is referencing Lucifer in every single music video, like they all are, right? Doja Cat, etc., all of them. But the audiences out there, again, when they watch this stuff, people don't realize they're in a hypnotic state. That's what the television does to you. Puts you in a hypnotic state, okay? They listen to the waves, the frequencies from the music. They don't even realize they're being programmed. You see stuff on TV, or you've seen stuff somewhere where someone's under hypnosis. You're like, oh, you're getting sleepy, right? And they're like, wow, that's weird. That's crazy. Yeah, every time you watch the TV, you're putting yourself into hypnosis unless you are watching it to decipher it. So if you're watching it, like I said earlier, if you're doing things like, let's just say, you know, the first time you ever tied your shoes, right? You had to think of how to do it. The first time, right? You don't even remember, I'm sure. But the first time you did it, somebody had to teach it to you. You did it. So you were in a conscious state of mind. I bet now when you tie your shoes, you don't even think, right? You don't even think, right? Because you're just programmed to do it. You know how to do it now. You don't have to critically think. So when we turn the TV on, it's the same thing. Most people turn the TV on and they're not critically thinking. They're not thinking at all. They're being programmed, right? So if you put this stuff on with the intent of deciphering what they're doing and saying, like the news, like this, then you'll figure out what's going on, which is what I expose in this channel. When I talk about the news, okay, you look to the agenda of the news. You don't let the news program you. You see how they're programming other people. So as it goes on, we see Megan Thee Stallion. Of course, we see black cubes all over the place, which is Saturn worship. It's another form of Saturn worship. I have to cover Megan Thee Stallion up because not just for the fact that I don't want, you know, any young people out there seeing it, even though they could clearly see all this stuff for themselves on the internet and clearly see it on YouTube because they put this in trending. I've actually gotten strikes before from showing screenshots from videos like this for showing explicit content. So I have to be careful what I show, which is unbelievable. But you can see this cube worship again, that Saturn's cube. That's what the black cube represents. Yes, we see it all over, you know, the world. We see it in Australia. We see these cubes. We know a certain religion that worships the cube. So that is another satanic emblem, the black cube. It's a very common theme that we see in a lot of these videos. And of course, another thing to note is that Megan Thee Stallion is connected to what? You see all the cables coming out of Megan Thee Stallion? Very common theme in a lot of these satanic music videos. Okay, this is to do with the Internet of Bodies. That's what this has to do with. Remember the Matrix, right? Everybody was connected in the Matrix. They had all the tubes going through them. We see this over and over and over again. They're referencing the Internet of Bodies, connecting you, getting technology, nanotech inside of your body. So that's what Megan Thee Stallion's referencing in this. Nobody, of course, will pick up on it. Then, of course, again, we see Megan Thee Stallion is constantly showing us the serpent, which they're obsessed with. And nobody out there realizes how often we see the serpent in these logos, right? The World Health Organization. Nobody's suspicious, right? The same people who are about to get carte blanche over our lives because our governments are signing our rights away to them, which again is something covered over on the website. Can't talk about here. Yeah, they just have a serpent in the logo, right? The medical association just has the serpent in the logo. Nobody's suspicious. NASA just happens to have the serpent's tongue in their logo, right? People are like, the serpent's tongue isn't in there. Oh yeah, what is the red thing supposed to be? Oh, is it Uranus? I mean, what do you think it is? Of course, it's the serpent's tongue. The serpent's one of the most common common symbols that we see, right? Of course, they're always referencing the serpent. So as the video wraps up, thankfully, we go back to, another teen playing video games in their room. You could see the satanic pentagram on the wall in flames with a skull in the middle of him. Surprised it doesn't say 322 right on the skull's forehead, right? And we see some other, satanic posters in the backdrop, like I showed you earlier. You see the satanic poster over on the left side of the wall as the serpent wraps itself around. Let's just say this teenage girl is a metaphor for every single person out there. Every single teenager out there that's getting sucked into this beast system, getting sucked into their tech, who's depressed, has mental health problems, don't have a clue about what's going on. The serpent's got control over them, okay? Let's say it's a metaphor, right? The serpent's wrapped itself around the minds of these young children and eventually suffocates this girl as she explodes scanner style into absolutely nothing. So for anyone out there that thinks that I'm making this up and I'm looking at this video all in the wrong way, I mean, what do you think Megan Thee Stallion, you think that Megan Thee Stallion wrote this video? That she was up all night, she's like, I got a song called BOA. It's, it's just about absolute nonsense. The lyrics are just to dumb people down and put them in a trance, so nobody realizes that the lyrics these people have are so dumb, so idiotic, so sick. They don't, because they just look at these people and drool. Because they're under hypnosis, right? So Megan Thee Stallion, we're supposed to be created the video, was just like, give me a pen and paper. Let me write up the video. I'd like to have a serpent. I'd like to be in a video game. I'd like it to suffocate people. I'd love Saturn on people's outfits. And I'd love heart symbols because I love a heart. It's my favorite symbol. And then I'd like to wear rabbit ears with pentagrams on them. I mean stars because I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. All right, then I want to make sure that there's a room that has black and white Masonic checkerboard floors in it. And then I want to connect an internet cable up my butt crack while I'm standing in front of black cubes because, that makes sense, right? And then just make sure there's a lot of serpents running around. And we'll say in the beginning of the video about the serpent demon. I mean, give me a break, right? This stuff couldn't be more obvious. It couldn't be more repetitive. And the repetition is really what's important to watch because all of them do the same thing. Right? When you watch these videos in a conscious state, you read the lyrics, you look at the messaging of the video. When they say stuff like, the way you die in the game's how you die in real life. They're telling you really that the serpent is going to suffocate you, which is, there's a lot of truth to that in a lot of different ways, right? We can look at it from just the carbon vacuum that I've talked about many times over the years, right? They're literally telling you they want to suck carbon out of the air, which would, cause, if you suck carbon out of the air and you kill all the trees and burn them down, we would suffocate. So, that's kind of what Bill Gates and these people are trying to do. If anyone's concerned, let me know. But I mean, it's laughable, really, right? But it's showing you the serpent suffocating people, because the serpent is suffocating people. They have full control over the media. They have full control over the minds of the youth, and people are being suffocated. They're suffocating all of us on a day in, day out basis with propaganda, with garbage like this. They're pumping it in and out. And really the most important thing people can do is break free from it. And if you're going to watch this stuff, then watch it the way that I'm showing you. Watch it in a conscious state. Make sure every time you turn that box on that you're looking for stuff, that you're not allowing yourself to fall asleep. It reminds me of like Nightmare on Elm Street or something. Stay awake when you're watching this stuff, right? Wasn't that the theme from Nightmare on Elm Street? Everybody tried to stay awake because they knew when they fell asleep, Freddy would come and get them. Same thing, right? Watch these things if you're going to watch them and decipher what they're telling you. They ain't artists. They aren't showing you stuff for no reason. They're dumbing you down, yes, with the lyrics, but they know you go into a trance when you watch this stuff, and they're using sigil magic on you. They're using all forms of witchcraft on you. Spell casting with the lyrics, and then showing you what is going to happen to humanity in a lot of these videos. People go, that's ridiculous. They're playing a video game, a serpent wraps around. No. They refuse to believe it. Meanwhile, in their day-to-day life, everybody's miserable and depressed, and the government constantly tells us about mental health problems, and nobody can figure out why. They're like, I got mental health problems. Yo, you know why you got mental health problems? Yeah, Big Brother's the reason you have mental health problems, because they're gaslighting you into oblivion, and they're programming you into oblivion, and they're dividing you into oblivion. I mean, they're doing everything possible to everyone, 24/7. Now that tech is in your hands around the clock, the government's in your mind around the clock. So this is Megan Thee Stallion, more poison, trending on YouTube. This is the type of stuff they want your kids to watch. Why? Well, because it's poison for the soul, and that's what they do it for. So share this video, let people know who haven't found this channel yet. I'd really appreciate if people out there shared my channel with others. I never asked people to do that in the past, but I do know there's a lot of people out there looking for my content that can't find my content, and I continue to work at the same rate that I worked on these videos that when I had, I'm a new YouTuber, but let's just say if I had 500,000 subscribers, etc., over and over and over again. So anybody out there that doesn't know about my channel and you think they might know, use videos like this, try to wake them up. Use videos like the carbon vacuum video, whatever. We just got to get people awake. That's really what's important. And that's what the government's trying to prevent. That's why all these free speech laws are getting put in place, etc., hate speech, etc., etc. It's all for people like me and you. That's what it's for. It's not to protect, certain people who have a certain preference in a bedroom. Okay? It's to come after people like us and then blame us for mental health and everything else that they're doing to people. So share the channel if you haven't yet with others. I thank everybody for being here. Hope you're all well. God bless you and your families as always.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You and I work at a basket company. We are basket makers. It's our job. We can agree that you make a basket by shooting this ball through this hoop. But who should do that? How should we prepare? What's our design? Which tools should we use? How do we make a basket? I'm not saying there's a right answer to these questions. I'm just saying if we can't agree on an answer, we might have a pretty bad time at work. Beef should not define the shared legacy of Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant. Shaq and Kobe's relationship includes 3 consecutive NBA championships, with plenty of love and celebration shared throughout. They are one of the most successful tandems in sports history. That is their legacy. Everything else is secondary. This is important to Shaq, and it's easy to understand why. Kobe Bryant died in 2020 at the age of 41. One of 9 people killed suddenly when their helicopter crashed in Calabasas, California. Shaq shared his mourning in public, profound remembrances of the brother he lost, including a TNT special immediately following the tragedy. On that night, and in subsequent reflections on his relationship with Kobe, Shaq expressed regret but diminished the notion of beef.
People like to talk about the relationship. I'm here to set it straight. It was a big brother relationship, little brother, but the respect was there. After I won my first championship, who's the first guy to jump in arms? When the guy twists his ankles in the finals and couldn't walk, who was the guy that carried him down the hall? From now on, I don't want to hear about the beef that y'all thought we had.
To the extent that Shaq and Kobe feuded, O'Neal has characterized it as a rivalry between competitors who respected one another and pushed each other to win. He said the beef was contrived, media bait, and intentional marketing stunt. And whatever it was, it ended. After their 8 years as teammates, once both men had retired from pro basketball, Shaq and Kobe resolved their differences. They reconnected privately for sure, but also for an audience, on television, on podcasts, and on social media. During those years of public reconciliation, Shaq used a key phrase that helps us square his own dismissals with documented history: work beef. Work beef means a few things. For one, it denotes a period of time. That resolution happened after they stopped working together. Bygones were bygones. Look at how Shaq and Kobe in retirement could laugh about a fight they had early in their partnership. They remember the trash talk in detail.
We were playing a pickup game. We was doing a lockout season. We're on opposite teams.
Right.
Trash talking.
Yes.
And you kept saying, yeah, take that little take that little I'm like, I'm looking around. Oh, me.
Yes.
They remember things getting physical, if not evenly matched.
I said, oh, hold on, ain't gonna be too many more of those little,
Yeah, I remember that.
And what you say? Well, what you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it? And then that's, the next thing I knew, I saw a big hand coming this way, and I remember going this way, and I remember throwing some lollipop.
And they remember this as the moment Shaq realized how intense and how brash the young Kobe really was.
We had our first fight, and you looked and said, okay, this is crazy.
I did say that.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
You did.
crazy.
You did.
In the hindsight of two champions and Hall of Famers, the fight represents an early sign of the success to come.
I'm looking at this and I'm saying, man, he wants this thing. It consumes him. And then from that moment on, I knew we spoke the same language. It doesn't matter if we had disagreements this and the other, our drive to win, like we have to win. There's no other option.
But at the time, that success wasn't a given. Teammates fight each other for a reason. Shaq's preferred phrase applies. Not all sports beef is work beef. Often, animus between athletes takes root in personal, off-the-field stuff. Money, fame, politics, relationships. That's not where Shaq vs. Kobe came from. It eventually spilled into those realms. It got personal. But this beef was, in its foundation, a feud about work, about the right way to practice and play basketball. So I ask again, how do we make a basket? How do we make a basket? In the summer of 1996, Los Angeles Lakers general manager Jerry West developed a literally debilitating obsession with acquiring Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant. O'Neal was obvious. Off the court, Shaq had a huge, marketable personality. On the court, the 24-year-old had become perhaps the prototypical NBA center of his era. 7'1" and 300-ish pounds, with churning footwork, quick reflexes, and thunderous finishes, among the NBA's very highest scorers. Shaq's incumbent team, the Orlando Magic, mishandled his free agency negotiations, slow-rolling contract offers to a superstar who wanted to feel valued. The Lakers smelled opportunity. West just needed to clear cap space so he could turn a big offer into a home run offer and get his guy. Bryant was less obvious. The 17-year-old wing had, like Kevin Garnett the year before him, elected to skip college and head straight from high school to the league. As was the case with Garnett, many NBA executives lacked the patience to develop a teenager. West was one of them, until he watched Kobe in person. The Lakers brought Bryant in for a workout as a favor to his agent, Arn Tellem. The workout went well. Suddenly, West had another guy he needed to make a Laker, but LA didn't own a high enough pick in the first round of the '96 draft. What followed was a high-wire act so stressful, so exhausting, that it drove West into the hospital. At least it paid off. With a little subterfuge and a little cajoling, West was able to orchestrate the following. Bryant dropped to the 13th pick, held by the Charlotte Hornets. The Lakers acquired Bryant's rights by trading Charlotte their center, Vlade Divac. Offloading Vlade's salary helped LA boost their offer to O'Neal, who signed days later. So shout out to Vlade Divac. He could have wrecked this whole maneuver by standing firm on his threat to retire instead of reporting to Charlotte. Vlade relented, the deal went through, West got both his guys. Now what? How did this new Lakers roster fit together? Shaq being the prototypical NBA center came with the requisite limitations. The dude was as productive as anyone has ever been inside the paint, but that was basically his range. You didn't need to guard him out here. He didn't shoot jumpers, he didn't dribble or pass from the perimeter. In short, he needed a sidekick, someone to get him the ball. Shaq grew up admiring Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who won championships in LA once the Lakers paired him with Magic Johnson. Those two legends had little in common personality-wise, but they were the perfect combination of world-class scorer and world-class passer. In Orlando, Shaq had handpicked his own version of Magic Johnson. He pushed the team to make a 1993 draft day trade for Penny Hardaway. Penny loved to pass. He was happy to share the ball and the spotlight. They seemed like a young Kareem and Magic for a new era. Disparate personalities, yet ideal complements on the floor. The rare tandem that could get you all the way to the NBA Finals before they turned 24. Orlando squandered that perfect fit, and their loss was the Lakers' gain. But if Shaq was to follow in Kareem's LA footsteps, would he have a Magic? Could anyone play that role the way Penny did in Orlando? The Lakers already employed some legit candidates. Rising all-star wing Eddie Jones and speedy dynamo Nick Van Exel. But Shaq understood from the outset that neither would become his co-star. Everyone knew it would be Kobe, especially Kobe. Kobe Bryant was a different kind of teenager. Bryant was already a bigger celebrity in high school than most players are as pros. Skipping college only accelerated that. Kobe had a sneaker deal. He had TV appearances, plural. The kid had a SAG card. The papers covered Kobe's senior prom because his date was Brandy. Bryant came by this fame honestly, by putting the ball in the basket. He was an electrifying athlete and insatiable bucket getter, a shooter and a slasher, a state champion. Envisioning Kobe's potential, people had no qualms using the letters M and J. To be clear, that's M for Michael and J for Jordan. No one saw Kobe becoming a pass-first mega point guard like Magic Johnson, or Penny Hardaway for that matter. If you squinted into the future, you saw a pure scorer, the rare shooting guard who could finish oodles of possessions by himself. Kobe wanted the ball, and his personality as a colleague mirrored his mindset as a player. He was sure the Lakers would be his team someday. So sure so soon that the older, more established O'Neal was like, whoa, hey, slow down, Haas. Shaq spoke in his usual playful way about taking Kobe under his wing as a little brother. But Kobe wouldn't be belittled, wouldn't go along with hazing rituals like the other rookies. Kobe had fancied himself a loner since moving to the US from Italy as a child. He kept to himself in the Lakers locker room. He didn't play cards with teammates, he didn't go to the club, he was hyper-focused to the point of aloofness on his game. While Kobe worked behind the scenes, opportunities to develop on the court were scarce at the outset. He had just turned 18 after all. Kobe scavenged for minutes in his first season, buried in Coach Del Harris's rotation. When he did get to play, he shot. A lot. Shot from any angle, shot in any situation. On a per-minute basis, He attempted more field goals than anyone but Shaq. Shaq recalls telling Kobe